Hello, everyone. Cayenne here. And as you might have noticed, I haven't posted a show in a while, not since the end of the Christmas episodes, which would have been December 25th. So I've been on hiatus, and it was sort of an unplanned hiatus. Let me explain. As I mentioned over the holiday episodes, or possibly before that or whatever, I was going on vacation for Christmas, so I did all the shows in advance, and then we spent the Christmas holiday for about a week in Key West, Florida, where the weather was gorgeous, and everything was pretty amazing, and I had a really good time. And in the lead up to that, after I had posted all the Christmas shows on a scheduler, which would have been about a week in advance, and then during the vacation, I started to realize something, and that is that I needed to change. And by that I mean I needed to change everything about my life, the way I think, the way I act, my body, my creative approach, everything. It's not that I don't like doing comedy anymore in terms of the podcast. It's just that I've done it. This February, which is this month here, this is my 14th year of doing this show. And while there were 2 years where I didn't do much of anything, I feel like I've covered all the ground. It's not that I want to give up doing comedy. It's just that really, now more than ever, I feel like I need to fold that comedy into something else. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, I'm not entirely sure. I know there are other things I wanted to try along the lines of the account. Again, yeah, I know. Along the lines of the account and other storytelling ideas. It's just that, I don't know, I feel like I've done it all. I mean, not all the jokes, obviously. I haven't done all my notes or all my ideas, but I'm just tired. I'm 50 years old. I'm in the back half of my life, and things need to change a lot, and I'm kind of thinking of leaving a lot of things behind and taking up a new mantle, which is awkward because I was also thinking of starting a Patreon this year. And then I realized if I change the show up too much, it's unfair to people who wanted to support me if I'm not going to give them the kind of show they were expecting. So we'll see about the Patreon in the future. I don't know. But I do know that things needed to change in my life a lot because I felt so good with things being different and better while I was in Florida. And I don't know what that means exactly. I just know that it's like I want to progress. I've mentioned before that I hate winter, and winter in Minnesota is just terrible, and I would love to spend winter in Florida, and we have no way of actually doing that short of winning the lottery right now. And I don't know that I could do it, but Sue's getting towards retirement age, my wife Susan, and I failed at everything. I didn't try that hard at everything, but I definitely failed. I'm not living up to potential. And there are ideas that I have that I'd love to get out there that could build a career even in this late day, but I'm never going to do that unless I get those ideas out there. And I've got an outlet of this podcast and YouTube and SoundCloud and a whole bunch of other stuff. I just want to get those ideas up and out the door. Not sure how to approach that, though, which presents a lot of anxiety in my life since I know I don't want to keep doing things the way I have been doing them, but I'm not sure which direction to go in, which means I can try any of them, but I could try all of them. I don't know where to start or where to begin. It's all confusing, and I guess I wasn't planning on taking a month off, but I ended up doing that anyway, and it might be a little bit longer, probably not a month. I'm probably definitely not. I'll get to that in a minute. But I just needed some time to regroup. To try to get my head straight, to figure out what I was doing. That's one reason. There was another reason, and that is the day we left Florida, I was a bit sad because, the weather's beautiful there. We're coming back to Minnesota where it was literally snowing and wet and mucky and awful. And we're going to go back to the winter, and in March we're going on the Jonathan Colton cruise back to Florida and to the Caribbean, which was going to be great, and that might be one of the last times we get to do that. So really looking forward to that trip. This is, again, the warmth. And as I said, I'd love to just avoid winter altogether. But we were leaving, and it was a long, slow drive to the airport because we had plenty of time. And, it was just leaving Florida behind. And not that I love Florida, but I do love the weather in the Florida Keys. And I love that kind of tropical atmosphere. And I was just thinking about what am I going to do when I get home, and how much am I going to change, and what could we possibly accomplish to kind of facilitate having at least a portion of our life in a scenario like this, where we get to really, really enjoy the winter months instead of kind of shutting down and keeping your fingers crossed that the winter ends soon, like losing half of your life to crappy weather that you can't stand anymore. And since I've lost a bunch of weight, I can't really handle anymore because, I can't insulate very well. And And I really want to try fresh, exciting new things. And when I get home, I'm going to really work out and really get into, I'm in kind of pain, and I don't know why. And whatever, I probably just pulled a muscle while I was carrying the suitcase through the airport. Ow. Oh, God. Okay. Fuck. Okay. I'm in a lot of pain right now. I am on a plane bound to Atlanta, and I'm in a lot of pain right now. Oh, boy. Okay, well, I'm sure it's just a muscle pull. Let's run at the last minute to get over to the Minneapolis plane, because our plane was delayed, and we got there just in time, and I'm in a lot of pain. Oh my God, I'm in so much pain right now. Let me go to the bathroom. I'm going to lift my shirt here and check this out because I don't know. Okay, there's a bulge through the wall of my stomach. I have given myself a hernia. I'm in agony right now, and I have given myself a hernia somehow. Fortunately, this didn't happen while I was on vacation. That would have been bad. Well, it obviously happened while I was on vacation. Probably got weakened all along the way. But yes, I gave myself a inguinal hernia. A portion of my intestines basically popped out and started hanging out in front of my body right around my belt line. And if you've ever had one of those, they suck. They are painful as hell. So the next day, right after coming back from the vacation, after a night of not sleeping because I was in absolute agony, I went to urgent care and got into a room, and a very, very nice nurse, doctors, I'm not sure. I have a hard time remembering what her actual what her actual title was. I do remember, though, that she was very nice and did her best to keep me as comfortable as possible while I sat down, lay down on a couch, on an operating table, not an operating table, on an examination table, and they shot me up with sort of hyper ibuprofen and then proceeded to shove my intestines back into my body. And it's been a long time since I've openly wept in pain. I mean, crying, just blubbering, just tears streaming down my face in absolute horrifying pain. It is a pain unlike any other I've experienced, getting that part of your body, an internal organ that's shoved back in. Fortunately, it went well, and it went in, and it stayed in. It didn't pop back out, and about 3 weeks later, I found myself in an operating room getting a hernia operation, which I did just about almost exactly a week ago today. This would be Monday, February something, 5th or 6th. So that surgery went extremely well, and I'm still in a lot of pain, because if you've ever had surgery, recovering from surgery is quite painful. It was nice. It was one of those I had a hernia operation in 1987, and that was a 3-day recovery. 2 days in the hospital. And then I got home and I was laid up for a week. This isn't quite that bad. I could walk almost immediately, and I was sent home that afternoon. But I've spent the last week pretty much trying to move around as much as possible and trying to manage my extreme discomfort as much as possible. I wouldn't call it agonizing pain. I can get up. I can move. It's just everything hurts, and that's getting better every single day. And I am able to go for walks, but as you can imagine, I'm very, very tired and very washed out, and I'm doing my best to get healed up. And that's how it's been for the past 2 months. So I'd love to say I took a month off to try and recuperate my brain so I could get to work on the show, but I kind of took a month off, kind of getting ready for surgery. It wasn't all day, every day, but I had to really manage how I treated my body so I didn't hurt myself further, and now I'm just in a painful place. So that's my life. That's how my New Year's has been so far. It's actually been quite fine, and that's where I stand right now. So I am healing very nicely, thank you. I should be out of the clear. I should be in the clear from the surgery in about 2 weeks. And then I guess if I get the all clear from my doctor, I'll get back to working out and try to build myself up and my strength so I don't do this to myself again. And in the meantime, I've been sort of dealing with pain, depression, and a bit of anxiety over what I'm going to do creatively, since I don't know if you've ever tried to be creative while you're in pain. It's not easy. And I'm trying to write. That's the other thing, too, that I came to the conclusion of. I'm needing to write stuff now. I can't just blather stuff off the top of my head, kind of like I'm doing now. But I used to be able to just spill jokes out of my head, and that was it. I'd hit record, and I'd write, and that's it. And it was a point of pride when people said, well, how long does it take you to write an episode? I'm like, write an episode? I don't write anything. I just crack that mic open, and I start recording. I mean, I go back and edit as I go and re-record stuff, but I don't write it down on paper. Over the holiday episodes, I discovered I had to write a lot of stuff down on paper, and that was the stuff that came out best in my mind. I can't just blabber anymore. It doesn't work. My brain doesn't work that way. I've exhausted that. Well, either that or I've just, whatever, just emotionally or chemically changed over the years. And to the point, as with a comedy, I've done it all. The stuff that springs into my head a lot, and this is a point of contention with me, with the creative process a lot for me, is I'll go, oh, I got a great idea. It's a perfect joke for... I did that, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, you know what? Here's a good one. Let me check my notes. Yeah, I did that 5 or 6 years ago. Oh, I'm just going over the same ground. I may as well just do whole episodes over again because I'm just repeating myself. Even when I come up with new stuff, I'm repeating myself, and I don't want to repeat myself anymore. I don't want to do this if I'm not feeling satisfied by doing it, because while I love entertaining you guys, I do this mostly as an outlet for myself. This is me expressing my ideas. And if I can't express my ideas, then why am I doing it? It costs me money to put the show out because I spend however many, I think I figured it was about $200 a year $200 a year on just paying for the feed and everything, and I happily do that because I love having the outlet. But if I'm not enjoying the outlet, if I'm putting the show out just because I have to and I'm not getting anything back from it in terms of creative satisfaction, then I may as well not do it. And I know where I want to go with this. I just want to try and tell humorous stories with strange twists. All the things I've already alluded to this all along the 14-year history of the show. It's kind of like a build-up to what I want to try and do. And I got to see if I can do it, which means sitting down with notes, sitting down with ideas, and writing. And as the pain gets lesser and lesser, I'm beginning to write a little more and more. And I think that's where I'm going to go with this. I know I'm going to have some shows up during the month of February, but I may have to ask you to wait at least through this week before I post anything new, because I'm still in physical pain and also trying to hash through a lot of ideas and trying to figure out what I want out of life. Still want to do this. I love the creative outlet of it. Maybe I'm overthinking what I'm trying to do in the future, but I don't feel like I've progressed. I don't feel like I've become better. In fact, in some ways I feel I've become worse at doing this show than I was before. I think the quality of the audio is better, but I think the quality of the material has stayed the same or rolled backwards. And I need to mix it up a little bit. And, no, not even a little bit. I need to mix it up, period. I need to change it up. And that's the only thing I can do at this point if I want to conceivably keep doing technical difficulties or whatever the show is going to be called in the future. I'm going to keep the technical difficulties name, but I may change it up in terms of episodes of things. And I've also thought of taking some of my ideas and doing more long-form stuff. If you remember way back in the day, I did a show called Zoo Patrol. And Zoo Patrol, I did that with John Henry. We've tried to get that off the ground a few times, and I've got some ideas for it, but we just never got together. And at some point a few years ago, he said, just go ahead and do it without me because I'm never going to be around to do it. And I thought, Zoo Patrol is funny enough that I could do by probably 15 to 20 to half an hour episodes of it if I sat down and wrote the whole thing out. And that was the plan, was to sit down with a bunch of people and write up episodes and do it as radio plays. And I may just end up doing that myself or doing it sort of a hybrid radio play audiobook or something like that. But the point is, I could do 6 episodes or 3 episodes or 1 episode or whatever episodes of that as a short-term thing and then move on to the next thing as a pilot or as an example of what I can do. I'm trying to build up my chops. I'm trying to build up my voice work reel. I'm trying to build up my writing skills. And that's all I can do now. And I'm not giving up on the show. I'm going to try not to let this turn into a long-term hiatus like it did a few years ago, but know that I'm here and I'm working and I'm trying to move forward. And we'll see how that goes for now. So thank you for your patience. I do appreciate it. And I'll be back in front of your ears, or in your ears, or around your head. I don't know how you listen to these shows. I'll be back as soon as I possibly can with more material. So sorry for this being all that you get after waiting for an entire month to see what I do next. But I'm hoping that what I do next will impress you. And I'm hoping it will satisfy me. And I'm hoping to actually show a side of me that, not that I've never shown, but that I've only hinted at in the past. I have to do that because I'm different now. I'm 14 years older, and I'm grown as a person, but I don't think I've grown as an artist. And I need to grow as an artist. I also need to grow as a person. And I want to try things, and new things, and exciting things, and some old things. And I want to redo some old things. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I just know that I have to do it, and I'm going to do it, and I will do it. And hopefully you'll still be here to listen to it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it and keep tuning in. So that's that. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Kyan Chris Conroy. It's tekdiff@gmail.com if you want to Gmail me, or you can go over to Facebook and find me there. There's also twitter.com/tekdiff. Though, as I've said before, I've kind of avoided social media, and I have been terrible at replying to emails for a couple of years now. I get the mails, and sometimes I don't get to read them, or I shunt them aside because I'm too weirded out and stressed out to answer them. And I'm going to do my best to jot off a note to contact and say something. There's also a YouTube channel called Technical Difficulties. You can go there. I guess if you want to post stuff to me at tekdiff@gmail, I will do my best to get back to you, but don't expect an answer quickly because I'm terrible at that, and I'm racked with anxiety. Sorry about all this. I'm going to quit apologizing and say thank you again for your patience. I'm Kyan Chris Conroy. This has been Technical Difficulties, or not really, but kinda. And I'll be back very, very soon. Thank you.